Let's run an experiment here. I'll show you how to create an agent to write stories, what a lot of people call user stories, from a problem statement. Maybe you have a problem statement, maybe you have the transcript of a conversation with stakeholders, and you want to create some stories out of that. Let me show you how to create that because it's a pretty simple thing. It sounds complicated saying, oh, I need to create an agent for that. Let me show you with some limited tools, if you will, how you could create that. So for instance, this we're looking at Microsoft Copilot, which is not my main tool. It's a tool that I have access to, but I do not use it primarily. But I'm going to show it how to create it here and how it would be creating in some of the other popular tools. There are many ways to do that, and I'll show you one way to do it. So in Copilot, there is this agent builder, and we can create a new agent, and we can describe what it is, the agent that we would want to create. Or in this case, I'm going to skip to configure because I'm going to give it exactly the instructions that I want in there. This is similar to if you're using ChatGPT and you have you're using their projects. You create a project and you give it what instructions you want within that project. It's similar to that. If you're using Gemini and you create a gem, which is like a little agent like this, it has instructions about any chat that you have within that agent. How is it going to respond to you? So how do we come up with the instructions that we want to put in here? Let me show you, instead of giving you the like a subset of the instructions that I normally have, let me show you how to create that, because then you can refine it to your own liking. So stories, I have several blog posts where I talk about my thoughts about how to write stories, right? So if you look, like you go to my blog and then you do a search here for stories, it will give you a whole bunch of stuff. There are several pages of that you could go through and read everything that I've published about my approach to writing stories. So I took that URL there, and what I did, let me see. Okay, let me bring another chat in Copilot. Again, you can use any AI tool to do exactly what I did here. And I prompted it with, I want to build an agent that writes user stories from a given problem statement or transcript of conversations with stakeholders. I like the approach to stories I found in this blog. So it happens to be my blog, right? Maybe you found uh, either my blog or somebody else's blog or literature, a video, anything that resonated with you. Well, you can point the AI to that to say, look at that, and then analyze that approach and create the instructions I should give to my user story writer agent. It responds with, great idea, this is very you. Yeah, it's because it's within my account and it knows a little bit about me, so it knows a little bit about that. But it would get something like that, right? So it says, I dug into the relevant material on that blog, and then it found stuff about, stories and BDD and all that, provides the analysis. So I went through to see kind of like, okay, is this analysis something that I could use? So from the user to you explicitly challenge the traditional as a user, and it points to one of the blog posts there. The reframing, yeah, the story is written as something someone wants, not something the system provides. That's pretty much when I get on my soapbox, I talk about those things. In order to, clause is primary. So starting with why, that's very much it. It found another blog post or a post in LinkedIn where I talked about that as well. Behavior before implementation, yep. And then it added like a citation to this link, which I had no idea what that was. So I said, okay, let me click there to see what is that thing that it found. it actually found this. It seems like an aggregator feed for my blog, right? And there's like a whole bunch of links to several blog posts. So apparently it went there as well to find some of that information. Uh, Stories are inputs to conversations, not contracts. Yep, they talk about that quite a bit. Clarity emerges through dialogue. Instruction set for a user story writer agent. All right, you can copy and paste what comes down here. So role, you are a user story writer. Your job is to turn problem statements, stakeholder conversations, yada yada yada, into human-centered user stories. Yes, it did look at my blog post, so it is grounded in my writings. Core principles. Why first? Always. Write it in first person. Behavior over solution. Stories invite conversation, right? So stories are not exhaustive requirements. Yep, this has me all over the place, right? The format of the story, writing guidelines, what to avoid, when working from transcripts, identify statements that express frustrations, desired outcomes, decisions people are trying to make, risks they're trying to reduce. Like, yep, that's very accurate. Quality check, the output format, right? And then why this works especially well for agents, right? So it gives me a few more things if I would like to keep refining that. I'll just go ahead and copy straight out of this, like roll, whoops, all the way to this. I'm gonna copy that, come over here, paste it here. All right, it's well within the the character limit here. And that's important because my personal set of instructions that I have for an agent, they're lengthier. There's more in there because I've created it like I just did, and then I refined it as I went along using my agents that I use for real work. And I've been refining them with some more stuff that maybe I have not published blog posts yet, but it's what I use when I'm coaching others, the way I've been approaching it myself for years. So once we have that in there, there's like more stuff that we can add here, like suggested prompts and things like that, but I don't even need to try that. What I want to try is, okay, what is the name of the new agent? Let's say um, story writer demo. And then we want to try it, right? We want to see what comes out of that because then we can start refining. So I could give it a problem statement if I had. I could take a transcript from a conversation and drop it here. But instead, what I did, like I'm not going to spend time on that. I went into a different tool. It could be in Copilot. Oops, let me started a video here. There we go. And then I used Gemini. You could use any kind of AI tool. What I did was to say, hey, create a simple problem statement I can use to exercise an agent that writes user stories from that statement. There we go. Then I created something here. Problem statements, the neighborhood. I'm going to click here because we're going to copy that. What's the context? Oh, the neighborhood tool share. Context, a local community group wants to reduce waste and save neighbors money by creating a digital platform, yada, yada, yada. Looks like a pretty cool thing. Why this works for testing an agent? Yeah, I'll just copy over to, there we go. That. Okay, so I'm gonna take that, come over here. Whoops, not that one, that one. I'm gonna paste it here. Why is it not? Oh, do I need to? No. Okay, name, description. Do I need to give this guy anything else? Title, problem statement. Write stories from a problem statement. Maybe that. Do I need anything else, guys? Search all websites, only use specified sources. Okay, is that gonna give us what we need? Hello. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me type anything there. Okay, I've already added instructions. Why isn't the try it text box enabled? Won't be enabled until you filled all the requirement. Okay, I thought I had that in there. What am I missing? Name. Oh, description. An agent to write stories from a problem statement or a transcript. Okay, there we go. All right. Yep, I want to do that. So that, and I'm going to paste that problem statement. All right, and then go ahead and do the thing. Let's see what comes out of this. All right, story one. I can already see the format, right, which is my preferred format here. In order to feel confident that I'm sharing tools, and by the way, it starts with the story title, joining the neighborhood. In order to feel confident that I'm sharing tools only with people who actually live nearby, I want to provide that I'm a part of the local neighborhood when I create an account so that the community feels trustworthy and safe. Okay, that's not good because it's giving me the in order to, it's not giving me an SA, what's the persona, and the so that part, that is the same as the in order to. So it's not that. To refine it, I can go over, let's see, there is another specific, so you would do your own thing, like tell it to refine, but right there, it already raised the flag in my mind. Because yeah, these stories, like they don't have the persona or the role in them. They're not fully formed stories. So I would go in and say, no, I remember reading something here that Claudio does this cinematic user stories. There was a post about that. So are your user stories cinematic? So here I have some examples and more specifically why I follow that approach. So I could copy that and say, let's go over here. I want to say, I don't like the format of the stories created so far. Analyze this blog post and adjust the agent's instructions accordingly. Also, make sure to include acceptance criteria and scenarios given when then for all stories. And I didn't paste there we go. The blog post, let's see, it should read it. Emphasizes intent driven. Here's a summary. Yes. I'll update your agent. Okay. All right. So let's try it again. And let me copy that. Yeah. Copy and do new chat. Yeah. Let's create new chat. No. Yeah. I didn't mean to hit create the agent. I meant to do new chat, which we are already there. This is our problem statement. Oop. Here we go. So that I was running into the character limit here. That's one of the reasons why I don't use Copilot, because it has those character limits. And the tools that I use, I don't get that, because sometimes I have like longer transcripts in Markdown files, and they exceed 2,000 characters or whatever the limit was here. Okay, that's much better already. But there's, man, yeah, that's not good. So, but let's see, acceptance criteria. I create an account, this, that, and the other. Scenario, given I am new to the platform, when I submit residency proof, then my account shows pending verification. Good. Given my residency is verified. Okay, that's much better. Given I have a letter to share, when I add photos in the description. This is important, like the given when then scenarios, they are more aligned with the way I want it, which is someplace you saw it's written in first person, like I am the person. It's not like given the user. It's like, no, I am that person who needs those things. I am the person getting some benefit from this. And there's nothing technical about it. It doesn't say anything like clicking buttons or putting information in text fields or anything like that. The only part that is messing here, that's mess here, is like, let me drop this. The stories don't follow the in order to as a I want to format. Enhance the instructions accordingly. Let me try that. I know that I had another blog post like refining stories. Yeah, refining a user story. Maybe that one I have some more information about that. Here we go. Analyze this post for more information about the why I'm asking you for this enhancement. Let's see what comes out of that. Again, I could give you like just a subset of what I use, but I want to show you the thought process, because my approach to it may not necessarily be something that's going to work for you, but it was going through this kind of exercise that I got to the one that when I run is like, yep, the stories come out exactly the way I need them to have the conversation with stakeholders, right? And not have it like go through uh, the issues that I'm having right now. All right, so let's try that. Let's try that problem statement one more time, see what we get out of that. Hopefully this will be a little better. That's better. In order to participate in my neighborhood's tool sharing community as a neighbor, I want to create an account with basic profile details so I can lend and borrow tools. See, that is much better. We can have a conversation like that. In order to ensure only local residents can access shared tools as a community member, I want to verify that I live within the approved neighborhood radius so the platform remains trusted. See, those are much better. Those we can put it in front of people and have conversations around it and say, okay, have we captured the main reason, the main why those are important, who the people are, right? The right personas, not as a user, but as a tool owner. Does that reflect, illustrate the proper person? Does the acceptance criteria looks reasonable? Do we have the proper scenarios? And then you may want to change and work with it to have the formatting, like having given, when, then in separate sentences. That's my favorite approach, but this is already a pretty good start, right? So once you have refined your agent by having the conversation. This is the part that is important. You may have the initial instruction to give it, or you can just start talking to it, have it create instructions for you. And then if you see results that are not up to what you would like, you talk to the agent the way I'm doing to the chat here, and then you say, this is what I'm seeing, this is why I don't like, look at this other thing here for reasons as to why I'm asking you to do the following things, ask me questions, clarifying questions to make this better, and so on. You have this collaboration. You, once you get to a point after you've tried it a number of times, you say, okay, this is exactly what I need. Great. Then I'm gonna update because I had by mistake hit the create agent. So now I can go to agent, right? And it's oh yeah, I'm already there, right? So let me go over just a sec. All right, so here I have the one that I created to share with fellow improvers, my coworkers, a few weeks ago. So here's the one we created. So now it's an agent that's available for me. We see the information there. Excellent, right? So if I wanted to refine it, I would do it here. Or, all right, that was not kind of quite working. I paused the video, the recording. I deleted the previous attempt. I created as a brand new one, and let's hit create because I'm expecting it to show in my list of agents. Here we go. That's much better. The previous one was not doing that. Go figure. So what we want is to have it listed as our agents. You go to it, it's a regular chat. Now if I copy that problem statement and I come over here, I can just go ahead and do that. I just give it the problem statement, the transcript, what have you, and it's gonna write stories out of that. There you go. And there you have it. We've just created a very simple agent. This is in Copilot. If you are in ChatGPT, you create a project or what do they call a custom GPT is another way to do it. You give it those instructions. If you're using Gemini, it's a gem. If you're using other AI tools, that's that. You need a set of instructions of how you want the agent to behave. You give it the input, it will produce the output based on those instructions. So I hope that's helpful. That's something not a lot of people think about. Is like, point the AI tool to the resources that you may have, blog posts, articles, transcripts from videos you've watched that you think like, oh, yeah, that actually resonates with me. I would like to create something based on or inspired by that content, and then work with your tool to produce that agent that will give you the results that you're looking for. I hope that was helpful.